I've got my fall mug because it's been 85 degrees in Seattle and I'm done. All right, welcome back to Foundation Friday. Today we're going to be talking about the best foundations for summer. I have different finishes, different coverage for you depending on what your skin type is and what you're looking for. Also, I clearly put on royal blue eyeshadow today and then remembered I have a Zoom meeting with my accountant right after this. Good choices. Before we get into the foundations, I do have an exciting little announcement for you guys. Right now when you're seeing this video, Bidding for Beauty is live. I did this last year with Project Beauty Share, but it's basically a charity eBay auction to raise money for them. 100% of the proceeds go to Project Beauty Share. There's tons of makeup bundles on there, all brand new stuff. There's MAC, Drunk Elephant, and then I also signed some items, including a Love You Loads candle. This one is not the signed one. The signed one is with Project Beauty Share, so you guys can get it. There's a burrito roll that you can use either as like a pencil case or a makeup brush holder. All of the auctions are live right now if you want to go raise some money for Project Beauty Share and also get some good makeup yourself. It's a 2-in-1, you know, but the link is down below in the description box. If you haven't heard of Project Beauty Share, I've been supporting them for about 4 years now. You guys raised $61,500 through this candle, all for Project Beauty Share. So thank you if you purchased one of these. I haven't had a chance to say that in a video. You guys are awesome. Thank you for always supporting them. I am just happy that through this thing called YouTube, I'm able to do stuff like this with your guys' help. So I'll have all the info down below. Unfortunately, it's US shipping only just because of shipping costs and customs and everything. Follow me on Instagram if you guys want to stay up to date with how much you're raising through Bidding for Beauty. I always update on Instagram more frequently than on YouTube with that kind of stuff because a lot of my videos are pre-filmed, so I can just give you more, you know, real-time kind of updates on Instagram. But let's get into foundations. Here are the best foundations I recommend for summer. So let's start off with the foundation that I've rediscovered myself. I forgot how incredible it is. I dug it up out of my collection because I was looking for shades that matched my tanner, and I have this one in the shade Y235. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. So this foundation retails for $43. It has 1 ounce of product and it comes in 50 shades. So good shade range. It's described as having undetectable medium coverage with a blurred second skin finish. I do agree you can get about medium coverage from this if you use a kabuki brush, and I love just how skin-like this looks and feels. It feels very lightweight, and it just is one of those foundations that doesn't emphasize my texture. It just sits so smoothly over my skin, which is what I look for in every foundation. If I'm recommending a foundation, you know, it's gonna be skin-like and not emphasize my texture. I personally don't get any blurring with this, which is one of their claims, but you can always just put on, you know, pore blurring primer underneath. But this one wears amazing on my skin. There was one day recently where we ended up walking like 5 hours through Seattle in the heat. The sun was out, and by the time I got home, my foundation looked literally exactly the same as when I first put it on. There is a little bit of transfer with the mask with this one. It's not like totally transfer proof. For having a very glowy finish, this one is long lasting on its own for me without setting with the powder. If you just want a good medium coverage, dewy skin-like foundation that lasts well, I definitely think this one is worth checking out. Let's do one of my drugstore recommendations. This is the L'Oreal Fresh Wear foundation. This one retails for $40. $40. Nope. $15, comes in 40 shades, and it has 1 fluid ounce of product. This foundation has SPF 25 in it. Even if a foundation has SPF in it, always put on SPF underneath as well, because the amount of foundation you're putting on isn't going to be sufficient as far as SPF. This is one of my favorite drugstore foundations, especially for summer because it is very long lasting. It's medium to full buildable coverage, and for me, the finish of this really depends on what I put underneath it. Some days it looks like a soft matte finish, some days it looks satin or even kind of glowy, so I think this one you can really kind of work with depending on what kind of finish you do like. But the thing I really like about this, especially for summer, is that it gives you that coverage and it's long lasting, but the formula is very thin and it sets down. I just had a moment where I was staring into this lens, which is like, it literally just looks like a black hole. And I'm like, I'm sitting in my room by myself talking to a black hole that then goes on the internet. How have I been doing this for almost, what, like 9-10 years, and that still blows my mind. Anyways, next foundation. This next foundation, I feel like I haven't quite talked up enough on my channel because it is one of my favorite foundations. I don't remember the last time I've mentioned this. It's the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. This also has SPF in it. It's SPF 45. It retails for $45 and you get 1.2 ounces of product. It comes in 28 shades and it says it has buildable medium to full coverage, flawless radiant finish, smoothing, plumping, hydration, I agree with all of those, except I don't quite get full coverage out of this. I would say it's closer to medium coverage, but I just love how healthy and plumping this one looks, but it still lasts well on my skin. It does have a glowy, dewy, plumping kind of finish. I think this will be a good one for summer if your skin's on the more normal to dry side and you like that dewy kind of look. This one's hydrating, comfortable. It doesn't set down in the same way that some other foundations that are dewy that I'm going to talk about here. So this is one of my go-tos when I just want to look very healthy. Why was that so hard to come out? By the way, one of my favorite foundations, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude foundation, not normal double wear. You guessed it, was discontinued. What is happening? I need to do a second video on products I love that were discontinued because the list is piling up again. I'm cursed. But out of all of the Estee Lauder foundations, Double Wear Nude and this one are the top for me, so this is the last guy standing. All right, Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. So this, out of every foundation I've tried, was definitely in like the top 5 most surprising, most shocking to me, because just like the sound of this, I remember thinking, this isn't gonna be my cup of tea. But was I wrong? I first tried this foundation before I went on Accutane, so a long time ago now. I'll link that video down below if you want to see the full review on it when I had oily skin and acne, so you can see the kind of coverage if you also have acne. But this is one of those foundations that still works for me to this day with having different type of skin now. My skin right now is, I would say, normal. It hasn't been super dry. In the winter, I definitely get dry, but right now my skin is just kind of normal, which is pretty nice, I must say. It's a change. But this foundation is $36, but you actually get 1.6 ounces of product, so that's a decent amount of product, and it comes in 25 shades. Sephora doesn't carry all of their shades right now, but if you go on Too Faced's website, they have all of the shades there available. For a minute there, I thought this was going to be discontinued because Sephora was like way marking it down at one point. I don't know if they're planning on getting rid of it fully on Sephora, but hopefully they don't completely discontinue this entire foundation. But the reason I think this is a totally underrated foundation, especially for summer, is one of the most long-lasting and transfer-proof foundations I've come across. If you have oily skin, this was one of the most oil-controlling products I've also found. It has medium buildable coverage, but if you watched that video when I had acne, I mean, definitely can give really decent coverage depending on how you apply it and how much you use. But it is one of the foundations that still looks good on my skin now, and I would say it's a true satin finish. It's a very just soft, flattering kind of finish. If you're someone who does get oily throughout the day and you've had trouble with foundation staying on your face, I would try giving this one a go. And even if you don't have oily skin, like my skin right now is not oily, I still really like this foundation. It looks beautiful on my skin when I just want more of a satin finish and something that I know is going to look good by the end of the day. All right, so this foundation I've never talked about before. It's actually a newer launch, like within the last few months, I want to say. It's the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. I've been testing this one for about a month and a half now. So this foundation is only $6.99 and it comes in 31 shades. Ulta actually carries less shades of this, so if you're not finding what shade you think you might be, you can go on Essence's website. But I'm wearing this foundation right now, but I did do a couple things to make it match my body right now, so I'll tell you all that in a second. But basically, this is a super skin-like, beautiful satin finish, medium coverage foundation. This is one of the prettiest, just skin-like, weightless feeling drugstore foundations I've tried. It's also vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free. This is getting really good reviews. I feel like a lot of other people are having a similar experience, but I just love how natural this looks on the face. This is in the shade 50 Neutral Champagne, which is too dark for me when I don't have tanner on. But to make it match my body a little bit more, I did add on some of the medium 4 Turn Up the Base One Size powder foundation, quite the name. I just put this kind of like on my cheeks and then on like the perimeter of my forehead a little bit, not fully all over. I've been really loving this powder. With this foundation, I just think my skin looks like skin, but it evens everything out. It looks super natural. It just has a very flattering finish. Out of all the foundations I'm mentioning, it reminds me most of the Peach Perfect foundation, just the finish and the coverage and everything. But I think this one's even a little bit softer looking on the skin. But this is definitely a drugstore foundation hidden gem right now. I haven't heard really anyone talking about this. For $7, I definitely think this one is worth giving a go. Next up, I have the Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint. So this foundation is very pricey. I talked all about this and gave a full review with like footage and everything in my last 5-in-1 foundation Friday review video, so I'll link that in the eye down below. This foundation is $42 for 0.54 ounces of product. That's a lot for that amount of product. You can get a refill cartridge for this, so you can keep this like outside casing and just get the refill for $32. Comes in 14 shades. I talked about this and my thoughts on the price and shades and everything in that video, so I'm not gonna like go crazy in depth in this video, but it's SPF 30. And the thing I love about this is it is dewy, but it sets down on my skin, and it's, I think, one of the most flattering looking foundations on my skin. It gives me that plumping kind of effect without being super tacky. This sets down in a really similar way to the original formula of the MAC Face and Body. It's light to medium coverage. I like to blend this out with a brush, and depending on how much you put on, I can get actually pretty good coverage with this. I can also wear it more sheer, and I just love how lightweight this is. I think this is a perfect summer foundation. My normal shade is fair, but then the tanner shade I've been using is sand, or I'll kind of like mix these, but it's just one of those that I consistently want to reach for because it looks beautiful on my skin every time. It just looks like skin. It's comfortable, it's lightweight, and it has that dewy finish. Going from a ridiculously expensive foundation to a $2 foundation. This is the Shop Miss A AOA Buildable Satin Foundation. It only comes in 15 shades, but because it's $2, you could definitely get, you know, a lighter shade than you think you might be, and then a darker shade, and then kind of mix it and adjust it to get your perfect shade. And that would only be, you know, $4 if you got 2 of them. It's cruelty-free, vegan, and AOA does donate a portion of the sales. And you get 0.64 ounces in here, so not a full fluid ounce, but you know, the full fluid ounce would be like 3 something. But I have a full review on this foundation if you want to see my first impressions of it and how it looks on. But this foundation is super silky, lightweight. You definitely want to shake this up before you go in and use it. I normally mix the lighter shade 301 with 302, or just go in with 302, but this one has buildable medium coverage with a satin finish. It just feels and looks very skin-like, super comfortable. And this one surprisingly lasts really well on my skin. You can see in that wear test video how it looks by the end of the night. I like that I can wear this one light coverage if I want, just apply less, or really build it up and actually get decent coverage. So if all of these sound like too much coverage for you for summer, and you just want something that looks like skin and is super natural and it has true light coverage, the Smashbox Halo Healthy Glow All-in-One Tinted Moisturizer is beautiful. But this is one of the best ones I have found. It has SPF 25. I normally wear it the shade Fair. It's $36. You get 1.4 ounces of product, and it comes in 12 shades. This one for me is the perfect thing where I want to even out my skin tone a little bit, but I don't really want to put on actual makeup. Maybe I'm running errands, going to the beach. This is the type of thing I would put on for that, where you really can't tell you have any makeup on. It just looks like your skin enhanced a little bit. It has a beautiful dewy finish, but it's very lightweight. It doesn't emphasize my texture or like sit weird between my eyebrows. It does have a dewy finish, but it sets down on the face. It's not like sliding around or anything. And I just think this is a great light coverage option for summer. A foundation that is polar opposite of that in every single way, but is one of my holy grail foundations at this point, is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. Wow, I think that's the first time I've ever said this name correctly on the first go, but this is $40, has 1.5 ounces of product, and it comes in 34 shades. So this is a extremely full coverage, like opaque full coverage kind of foundation. I wanted to put this one in here because it's super different than all of the other foundations I mentioned. This one does have a fully soft matte finish. It has the most coverage out of anything I've talked about, but it is extremely long lasting. This foundation on my skin is one of the most long lasting that I own. But if you're not into matte, don't let that scare you, because you can adjust the finish of this one. I recently talked all about this, did a whole current foundation routine video, so I'm gonna link that in the eye and down below. But the key with this foundation is using the tiniest amount of product, and I have a really specific way I like to apply this. So don't just buy this and then throw it on like any of your other foundations. There is a learning curve with this one, but once you get it down, it gives me coverage, but it doesn't look cakey, and it's just super long lasting. And I have heard people say that this holds up in like major humidity and stuff. So if you're in a different kind of climate, like maybe you're in Texas or Miami or something, I do think this one could be a good option for that. And even if you don't like a matte foundation, you'd also just mix in the tiniest drop of this with another foundation to make it super long lasting, add some coverage. I always really like mixing foundations. If you've never tried mixing, give it a go. I actually really want to try mixing the Makeup Forever with this. I feel like that might be a winning combo. Or I would mix it with this one, which I'm going to talk about next from the drugstore. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. This one is $16, comes in 30 shades, and you get 1 fluid ounce of product. This has SPF 50. So this has, I think, the highest SPF out of anything I'm talking about. I wear the shade Ivory 10. This is a just super pretty, very glowy, it is what it says, serum foundation, but it feels really comfortable and just super lightweight on the skin. It also just feels super hydrating, and I think this could be a good one for mature skin. I was reading through a lot of the reviews, I think on L'Oreal's website, and a lot of people with mature skin said that this foundation worked really well for them. On my skin, this one isn't super long wearing, but it does have that really pretty, just like summery look to it where you get that really pretty glow. It's lightweight. So that's why I wanted to mention this, but I do want to try actually mixing in a little bit of the Nars to see how these two work together, because this might add some longevity to the L'Oreal one. And then last foundation I wanted to mention is the Kosas Tinted Face Oil. I talked all about this in my recent current favorites video. This is in the shade 2. This is a pretty good shade for me when I don't have tanner on, but I can actually somehow weirdly get this one to work if I'm on about like day 4 or 5 of tanner. But this foundation is $42. It has 1 ounce of product. This is a super dewy but very flattering foundation where I don't feel like I look greasy. It's just like the perfect amount of dew. It's extremely lightweight and it has this like silky feel when you blend it out, because it is what it says. It is a tinted face oil. It definitely does feel like that. So I don't know how this would work on oily skin. For me, this one held up well in Hawaii. Like I was wearing this in the Hawaii humidity and it held up totally fine. Kind of was expecting it to like melt off my face because it is a face oil, but it was really long lasting on me. 16 shades isn't great for this product. I feel like they definitely need to expand the shade range, but I think this is a great option because you can really customize this one as far as coverage. If you want sheer coverage, just use a drop. This one has a dropper on here. You definitely want to, shake this before you apply it. I can actually get medium to even high medium coverage with this product just by using more and then kind of like stippling it on. I'm not trying to get like a ton of, coverage when I use a product like this, but sometimes if I have some extra redness to cover up or something, it's nice to be able to build it up. But I think if the idea of the Ilia skin tint or that kind of product is appealing to you, but you didn't like that one, definitely give this one a go. I think this is so much better. This one is an honorable mention because it just hurts my heart to not include this in a summer foundations video. This is the MAC Face and Body Foundation. I'm very sad though because they did reformulate this and come out with the Radiance version. And I talked to someone in a MAC store to confirm that, and they said, yes, they did change the formula slightly from the original. I haven't been able to fully test the new one, which is why this one is a honorable mention. If you can get your hands on the original formula, I say do that. But I definitely want to do a Foundation Friday on the Radiance version. Let me know if you guys would want to see that, because this is one of my favorite light coverage, super long lasting foundations. No one's complaining about this, so I don't know why they felt the need to reformulate it. Like, don't change what's good, This one is still light coverage, and it is a little bit more coverage than the Halo Tinted Moisturizer. So it's a good product if you still want your skin to look like skin, you want your freckles to come through, you don't want it to look like you're wearing makeup, but you want a little bit of something going on. This has more coverage than the Glossier skin tint. I like to apply it with my fingers. It's just a super long lasting, great lightweight, summery kind of foundation. So comment down below if you've tried the original and you've tried the new Radiance, what you think of the two. So those are all of the summer foundations I recommend. Hopefully that was a good spread for you where depending on what you're looking for, you could find something, but I'm going to link all of them down below in the description box. And if I have any specific videos using them or reviewing them, I'll also link the videos down below so you can see them in action. For the makeup on the rest of my face, I use this ColourPop Rumor Has It palette. Dude, these are good. I used the purple one in my Sephora try-on haul video, and today I used this one, and these are so intensely pigmented. For blush, I use the Bare Minerals Bronzer in the shade Kiss of Pink. This is one of my current favorites. If you like a glowy blush, this is beautiful. Highlight, I used Revolution, just my type. And then for lips, this totally shocked me. I've been loving this. This is a new Glossier lipstick in the shade Lucite. This shade, the feeling of this, the formula of these are so pretty, and look at this shade. Oh my God. Like the perfect light pink kind of color where it's still sheer. It doesn't look like you have a full-on lipstick on, but it does, alter the color of your lips. I also really love the shade Vesper. This one looks nothing like it does on there. It's actually like a fuchsia kind of tint, but it just gives your lips that like just ate a lollipop kind of look. You'll definitely be seeing this in my next Raves and Rejects video because I've just been reaching for lucite a ton. I think that's all the makeup. I just put on random corner lashes I had sitting around, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. Again, I'll have the link for Bidding for Beauty down below if you want to get to bidding and raise some money for Project BeautyShare and get yourself some makeup. But I'll have that down below. Again, it's running for 7 days until June 25th. I always have my shirt, jewelry, everything else listed down below in the description box as well. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.